Uh, Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Another strong Monday feeling coming here. The 3rd of March, we're here to talk about that game against Fulham yesterday. You saw my match reaction, so you don't really need to hear my opinion anymore, but I'll run through yours. We're going to go through the full match reaction. Comments from Amorim. Comments from Rooney, Amorim's response. We'll speak about individual performances. Chido, who I think if you're looking for a bright spark yesterday, there's certainly one of them. Zirkzee, Ligt. We'll speak about the wasted chances. United's season, which, let's be honest, has a maximum of 7 games left. I didn't put that in the title of the video, but it really does only have 7 games left at its absolute best. That's the Europa League. It's Real Sociedad on Thursday. What a massive game that is in the context of our season. But Graham, I'm going to try my best to try and cheer you up this morning. As I said, I will focus on the... It's not about just focusing on the positives and ignoring everything that's staring you in the face, but I thought Chido, his performance was positive. I thought De Ligt probably had his best game in the United shirt, despite the fact that we lost. I want to credit Zirkzee. I want to speak about the issues, set pieces, how slow we are playing out from the back with the ball. I want to speak about... quite a few things. And as always, I'll try and answer as many of your questions that you fire in as I possibly can. Toby, I saw you there gifting 10 memberships to kick off the show and kick off the week. And I tell you what, can United just give us some gifts of some first half goals at Old Trafford? Was that too much to ask? Apparently it is. Good morning to Carl, to Josh, to Ant as well. Alex, you're there too, and Stephanie. Plenty of mods out here this morning. Hopefully keeping the chat civil, because I tell you what, it could probably get very sour and very angry, and you couldn't really blame people. JC, Akash, good morning to both of you. We've got Ubaid, we've got Matt Giant, John, we've got Ryan, Brian. I don't know why that made me laugh, but we've got Ryan and Brian, Andrew and Buddy. Good morning to all of you. Please do fire in your comments and your questions. As much as I possibly can, I will involve you in the show. Now, I want to start off this show with a positive? Yeah, I suppose you can call it that. Yesterday, I would say, was pretty much the worst preparation you could have for Sociedad on... maybe not the worst, but pretty bad preparation for Sociedad on Thursday. In a way, Europa League game, playing 120 minutes, extra time. But then we had to take a quick look at what Sociedad did. And Sociedad played Barcelona yesterday. They went down to 10 men after 17 minutes. And they got spanked 4-0. And they didn't have a shot on target. They had 23% possession. Sociedad, as exhausting as our game yesterday would have been, that game right there is more exhausting. So, can you call that a positive? I don't know, but you can call it a positive. The last 2 games, they had a tough run ahead of this United game. They've got Real Madrid, which they lost 1-0, and they got Barcelona, which they got spanked 4-0 in because they played 73 minutes with 10 men. Will that affect them? We'll find out. But it's not exactly as if they had the best preparation for this game, and neither did Man United, all right? No doubt we will make them look like Barcelona. I randomly saw a little photo of my match reaction from September 2022, when we played Sociedad at Old Trafford. That one when Martinez slid in and then got a penalty because it bounced off his knee and hit his arm. That was an insane, insane decision. Right, let's speak about it, all right? This feels like a hood up sort of show today. I had my hood up all morning and I took it off just as we were going live. But no, it definitely feels like a hood up here this morning. What's your sort of overall feelings towards that game yesterday? Like, I'll put it down. I'll try and be more professional. But nothing surprised me yesterday. Nothing has surprised me for a long time. And it really has sort of settled in. This is just Man United between now and the end of the season. There is nothing that is going to significantly change. There may be the odd good performance here, the odd good 45 minutes there, but I don't think anything is going to be sustainably improved on game by game, which is typically how I like to look at Manchester United. If I try and see minor improvements, 2 to 3% every single game, even 1% every single game, then you're heading in the right direction. I just don't think that's possible now. Between now and the end of the season, There's going to be bright sparks, but largely it's just going to be guff for the rest of the season. Let me see what you're saying down here. Connie's saying, could you do a lunchtime video on United's finances? I'm in chats with a couple of guys who know far more about finances than I do. As much as I can try to understand them myself, I think it's something I've explained to you all about finances. And when it comes to PSR rules and regulations, how there isn't like a definitive number that you can say, well, this is how much United can spend, because it all changes depending on how much you get for a player and how much, even in the sale of a player, how much you get up front. And it's all very variable and interchangeable. So it's basically impossible to say United have got X amount to spend this summer. It really, really is. Let me see what you're saying. Matt's saying luck had to run out at some point. I mean, I wouldn't call it luck in the last couple of games. What was it? Everton 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go. We were just awful. And then Bruno brought the team back into the game and we got a draw. Ipswich, again, it wouldn't say it was luck, but I mean, it was such a flat performance. I think that's what I would call the Fulham game. Fulham were really, largely, pretty damn crap. Let's be totally honest. Fulham were absolutely there for the taking for any team that really wanted to take it to them. Now, we tried, but the chance creation at that point just failed every single time. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments, all right? Sam, we should have started to play the academy after we realised the season is a write-off. No, I don't think that's the case. I think you all kind of know where I stand on the academy. I'm more inclined to be a pragmatist than I am to be somebody who just wants the youth thrown in. But I look at Chido now, and I look at a player who's made his debut against Spurs for 2 minutes. 20 minutes against Everton. He hardly kicked the ball. To that game there against Fulham, where he was involved in the game, and he improved the game, and he made us a better team in attack, which wasn't particularly hard. And we didn't exactly score with him on the pitch, but the standards that we are coming from to the standards where we're aiming to, Chido is definitely going to be offering something. Now, Steve, I can see you gifted 10 memberships as well down there. Can all of you, thank you all for sticking with me and joining in these live shows, having the conversation. It is easier once you all chat about it after the hour. Okay, right. Then you move on and you start speaking about Sociedad rather than just sort of festering on it on your own. Tyler saying, Sam, why are all these players fighting so hard against the big teams? When it comes to the lesser teams, they all seem to drop off. I wouldn't say that yesterday seemed like a lack of fight. I don't think yesterday was a game that particularly required much fight. I didn't look at that game yesterday and think, United are losing all of our we're losing all the second balls, we're losing all the duels. The thing that pissed me off was the set piece. That was just, if you looked at it, it was like a carbon copy of the Mitrovic one from a couple of years ago. The corner came out just outside the penalty box towards the corner flag. Little flick on, nobody really marking on the back post, or anybody who was marking on the back post is standing still. And that's the big problem. That was the big issue that we had there yesterday, because Calvin Bassey simply was moving when the ball was heading towards his direction, which therefore means Mazraoui's got pretty much no chance of actually winning the ball, because Calvin Bassey's got the leg up on him, and they just scored from it. They got the first header, they won the second header. It was just... Anthony saying, talk about it instead of festering on your own. This really is officially a therapy room. Well, it has to be the therapy room at this point now. And saying we didn't embarrass ourselves, that's an improvement. Boy, our standards are absolutely in the gutter right now, aren't they? They really, really are. Alex is saying, Chido and Heaven deserve more game time. Not sure San Sebastian is the right place, but both showed they're ready. Maybe time for Camerson again after Arsenal. Look, and this is one thing that I've been saying I've said it quite a lot. And I should have actually pulled up a photo of it, but I'll speak about it now. I think this is even worthy of another mini doc. I've done a couple of mini docs on this, but it's just in these last 2 years, specifically these last 2 years, where everything has been going so wrong at our football club, from Ten Hag's season that was just diabolical. Yeah, we had the FA Cup, fine, but to this season with Ten Hag then getting sacked and then everything that's gone on. Despite all of that turbulence, Manchester United's academy teams, and in particular the under-18s, have just been such a consistent positive. Last season, winning the treble. This season, on Friday in the FA Youth Cup, with Chido not being in the squad, by the way, who was the top scorer in the FA Youth Cup for the youth team this season. They went to the Emirates, they played at the Emirates, and they won 3-2. And Camerson was man of the match, scored an absolutely cracking goal. And they're now through to the FA Youth Cup semi-final, I believe. And it's the under-18s who really are the positive of this football club for the last couple of seasons. The job that Adam Lawrence has done has been fantastic. And that's why people are looking, United fans are looking towards the youth as sort of a source of optimism, a source of something that can improve this season. Right? I can't blame him for that. Now, I want to start the show by running through comments from Wayne Rooney and Amorim's reaction to it. Okay, so if you haven't seen what Rooney said, I'll just play the clip here from the BBC, because I'm pretty sure the BBC don't shut you down for copyright. Well, it's not even copyright anyway. I don't do this to pretend that I'm stealing their video. I'm doing it as sort of comment and reaction, which I think is under fair use, but you just never know, right? This is what Wayne Rooney said on BBC after the game.
Needs time. Do you think he'll get it?
Yeah, I do think he'll get it, and I think it's not a free hit, because I think you'd expect a bit more from Manchester United than what we're seeing since he's been in. It's very difficult to come in during the season and not have his pre-season to implement his plans with the team, but he has to look to the future and moving forward. And how can he, firstly, he says win the Premier League, how can he compete to get a bit further up the table? I think that's the next step for them. But ultimately, the goal moving forward over the next few years is to try and do that.
You had, sorry, Mike, you had a little go. Obviously, you've had a few goes at management. Ultimately, you can only deal with what you've got as players, isn't it? Isn't it about the talent on the pitch? You can only do so much.
Yeah.
However much you know the game, however great a player you are, however strong a management are, the best managers are the ones that got the best players.
Yeah, of course, and I think that's normal. But I think the issue maybe of looking too far ahead is what we're seeing over the last 10, 15 years is managers are not getting that time.
No.
So you have to be a little bit selfish as a manager and say, okay, if I don't do it now, then I might not get that time. And maybe, I think that is a little bit naive to say we're looking to win the Premier League, because from where they are now, they're a long way off that.
Right. I should really have just done the clip at the end rather than the clip at the start. But that's what Rooney said. He's basically calling Ruben Amorim naive for the fact that he's on record saying that the goal for Manchester United is to win the Premier League, which of course is the ultimate goal. This was Amorim's response, right?
Our goal is to win the Premier League. Maybe it's not with me, but our goal as a club, the board, is winning the Premier League like we did in the past with all the great glories and the legends of this club. And we want to do better, and we know that we are in the difficult moment, and I'm not naive. That's why I'm here coaching at 40 years old, the Manchester United.
And that was a little bit of a nibble from Amorim. And I wanted to hear your sort of take on this. Right? What do you think about Rooney's comments that Amorim maybe is being a little bit naive in the fact that he is sort of vocalising that is the long-term goal of the club? Should that be something that you keep behind the scenes? And what do you think about Amorim's reaction? My 2 cents on it is I mean, you're not really going to take any management tips from Rooney, are you? I mean, you're not. Incredible player. But, yeah, I wouldn't, first of all. Second of all, that was kind of a slightly different take from, I think Amorim must just be getting, it was 2-3 days ago, he was being questioned about Roy Keane's comments on Bruno Fernandes. And you saw how angry I was about those comments on Friday. There is an obvious reason for that. And I said that a million times. Right now, I'll say it one more time. There are so many things that you can be negative about at this football club right now. You are so spoilt for choice, right? Go and feast and enjoy yourselves in them. But to try and then bring Bruno into that right now when he's one of the bright sparks at this club, it was such an unnecessary thing. Chris saying storm in a teacup. Well, Well, Chris, Manchester United's season is a storm in a teacup in the grand scheme of things, but Manchester United's season has been consistently bad all season. So it's not really a storm in a teacup. I suppose comments and reactions are storms in teacups. Let me see what you're saying here. John saying Ruben is correct to say it's a club's long-term goal and admits it may not be under him. Varun saying Rooney, Neville, Keane, etc. These are people who have no right to criticise Amorim's management. He's won more than they have as managers. I don't think it's about a right to criticise. It's like saying that you know how not originally, but there's always that thing that people say to undermine pundits. So if you haven't played at the top level, then you can't possibly comment on anybody else who has played the top level. It's just a bit. Fucking bored, man. I'm so fucking bored. Every week, man. I don't know. On Wednesday, we'll have a comment about fucking Rio Ferdinand saying some weird stuff. I mean, the good thing is, right? Surely, there is not going to be a worse season than this season. Surely, for the love of God, we are living through the worst season that Manchester United will ever have in the Premier League, and it will not get any lower than this. I swear to God, if it does, I'm out. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going down if United go down. Bully, you're saying I love the fact that Fulham fans will call Bruno a rat, and then 4 minutes later he bags a goal. Yeah, I did enjoy that part too. That's what football fans do. Football fans love getting personal. What else are you saying down here in the comments? Imagine Fergie being a pundit. No, he's too busy enjoying himself, man. Chilling, drinking red wine. Jonah saying fans can call someone bad as the fans have not played in the Premier League. Please don't jinx us, Sam. You said the same last season. I didn't say the same last season, man. We finished 8th. It was bad, but there was definitely room for United to get worse last season than we were last season. Sorry. Let's just speak about the game a bit more here. Right. Story of our season so far. You could. What's the biggest problem? What's the biggest problem? Is it the fact that United play at 2 miles an hour? Is it the fact that United can't score goals? Is it the fact that United can't play out from the back with the ball? Is it the fact that United don't really have a chief creator in midfield? Is it the fact that take your pick? Just take your pick. Ultimately, if United were just scoring a few more goals, there would be room to forgive and repair the other problems. Goals bring you results, which do bring you... You can have frustrations, and we had that frustration. We have won what? At one point, a couple of weeks ago, we'd won, I don't know, 5, 6 out of our last 8 games. And still the frustration was huge. Absolutely huge. So it's not just results for United, but if United would just get in a couple of goals, a couple more goals, it would make things so much easier. And yesterday again, Højlund sort of another game that disappeared. Well, another game in which he disappeared. Chances were kind of far and few between. I'll speak about Chido in a little bit, by the way. I'm not coming here all doom and gloom because I thought he actually really did play well. I thought this was an interesting comment from Ruben after the game as well, when he was asked about why United aren't scoring. Because I think it's sometimes the quality of the players. Bruno, Casemiro and Zirkzee is improving a lot. He's fighting for every ball, but it's the quality of the players which does help us create more chances. And it's, let's be honest, it is the quality of the players. Like, I'm shocked. I think that's probably the best word I would use to describe it. Let me pull this up. Am I shocked? Yeah, I think I am shocked. Right? I'm shocked how much Højlund has just like fallen off the face of the earth this season. But it's not that I thought it was guaranteed that he was going to build on his 16-goal season. But if you were to go back and just watch Højlund's 16 goals last season, you will see a variety of goals. You'll see it left foot, right foot. You will see him creating his own chances, runs, good runs. Like there was one run to the front post, I think, for an Eriksen cross yesterday. The chance was difficult and he spooned it well over. But I can't quite believe how much of a ghost Højlund has been. And that really must just simply be him being swallowed by the environment. The pressure is just absolutely just put a pin in him and he can't pick himself up. But because of that, right, I'll go back and speak about other people. But I want to speak about this. Gaz, I can see you gifting 10 memberships as well, man. All of you, please do get involved in the Discord. I hope that you're all... The Discord isn't just a little thing that's forgotten about. The Discord is genuinely the home of the United People's TV community. From all the platforms, it's the one place where everybody can get together, talk, hopefully have some fun, get involved in some trivia, get involved in some games, and some more stuff on there. So if you can, please do join it. It's completely free and it's there for you, right? But Chido, right? What are your thoughts on Chido from his performance yesterday? I was happy when he came on. I was happy the time that he was given. Of course, he got all of extra time as well. And Akash saying the Discord's a war zone at time. Mate, United is a war zone at time. Well, yeah, maybe not the right word to describe it. But of course it is right now. Everywhere is. Everywhere is. Chido. He came off the bench and I think the first thing I would say about Chido, the thing that I'm definitely excited about, the biggest question that has been asked around Chido up until this point in his career has been the fact that Chido, as a physical monster, has always had a massive advantage over the defenders that exist in the academy teams. And when he comes up to the Premier League, he will not be able to cope with it at all, etc., etc. That's the main thing that was said about him. I thought yesterday, from a physicality perspective, I thought he coped more than fine with Anderson, with Bassi, going shoulder to shoulder, sort of jostling for position. I think he did quite well. Is he completely ready? No, he definitely looks nervous. Although Jamie Jackson, naturally going after a 17-year-old who still hasn't even made a full debut for the club. Well done, Jamie. And, of course, blocking anybody who calls him out on it. Well done, Jamie. Really top class, that is, mate. I think he blocked me because I called him out when he was trying to go in double hard on Mainu. Yeah. Right, let me see what you're saying in the comments. He had a good cameo, says Toby. Shane is saying he's not ready for me, but in our circumstances, it's his moment, and I see he has the potential to be that guy. Gaz, you're saying Chido was really positive, potentially could have got 2 goals, man. That was to be fair, it was a great save by Bernd Leno. That ball where he went through, sort of like somehow skipped past 2 Fulham players, opened his body up, right foot, and it looked like a really good finish, man. Gary saying Sam often says he feels sorry for fans who weren't around in the 90s or 2000s. But it wasn't so much fun in the 70s and 80s. It will come good. Of course it will, Gary. Well, I think so anyway. I hope so. Football is cyclical. We know that. It's just that the cycle that we are in has been going for about 10 years. Probably a little bit longer. Tyler saying our biggest problem is we have no experienced striker on the pitch. I can't put United's problems down to one big individual thing that I think if you change this, everything else will fall into place. I don't think that's possible, which is a big reason why I don't think United can possibly afford to spend more than 50 million on one position this summer, because you just need so much more. You need so much more than one big signing in this team now. But Chido yesterday created his own he kind of created his own opportunities. There were half chances that were turned into chances because of Chido's movement, because of his anticipation, which is something that Højlund was doing in his first season. And it's something that Højlund has definitely lost. But also, there's kind of very rarely the occasion where Højlund receives the ball in a position where it is a chance-creating opportunity. A lot of times, he's receiving the ball halfway in a build-up. He's a little bit wider. He's got too many men around him. I was happy with his performance. And so was Amorim. So what he said. He goes, anything can happen in the next games. We need to see the opposition, feel the moment of the player physically. I will focus on just the next game, and I will choose the best players to win the next match. And he also complimented Chido. He's basically saying he was a little bit naive. He's actually using the word that Rooney used. He was a little bit naive, but he showed good moments, and I think he can be happy with his performances. I think, let me put it down here as a poll, right? Do you want Chido to start against Sociedad? Simple one, yes or no. It's not do you think, like do you want Chido to start against Sociedad? I don't think he will. But then I step back and I say, look, this is the biggest game we've got left this season, for sure. And if we get through, then the next round will be the biggest game that's how it's going to work until the final, right? We did look better with Chido on the pitch. I thought we did. It's not to say that I want to throw him in the deep end and demand that he finishes the chance, but we created more chances with him on the pitch. Lebo saying no, too much pressure. Brian saying no, not there. It's not the right place for his first start. Better for Chido to be the impact sub versus Real. Sociedad, of course. I don't think he's quite ready to start off the game. Craig saying be better off the bench. Lone Wolf, you're saying no, play with no fear. We'll find out, man. But when it comes to the positives that we have remaining this season, there really aren't that many. I want to say congratulations to Aiden Heaven, making his debut as well. I thought he played comfortably, is probably what I would say. Didn't really look out of place. Didn't look like he shied away from the ball too much. But there wasn't really, as a defender, wasn't really particularly tested too much. But for him to make his United debut as early as the 3rd of March will be something that's big for himself and his own career progression. So congratulations to Aiden Heaven. I actually thought he played all right. I thought both of them did, really. And let me go back to speaking about Chido for a little bit longer. Chido's going to be the talent we lost in Greenwood, says Lyle. He gives a toss about Greenwood, man. Let's just hope that he moves to Barcelona in summer and we get a nice payoff. Rasmus has been slightly better in Europe, says Genghis Khan Jr. Interesting username. I don't know whether it's still the case. I suppose it is, actually. Was Højlund the top scorer in the Europa League after the group stages? I think he was, which is nutty. Really, really is. Jason saying, Sam, if Obi had more minutes in previous games, I think he would have finished the one-on-one chance where he tried to lob the keeper. That chance right at the end was really tough, you know, where he sort of like got through, the ball was fizzed across and he just got his toe on it, just couldn't really quite steer it in. I don't particularly think, you're talking about the one-on-one chance where he tried to, it was like a lifted finish. It wasn't really a lob. It didn't look like a lob to me anyway. It was just, Burton had a really good hand. That was more a good save than anything else. Now, look, let's find out. Because right now, Højlund is an absolute ghost. He really is a ghost on the pitch, man. Do I still think that there is a player in Højlund? Yes, I do. I don't think Højlund is completely nuts. I saw what I saw last season. I saw plenty of promise and potential, but it's just being completely replaced. It's like it's just infected. It's like a dark shadow. Any positivity of Højlund has been completely and utterly, any fire of Højlund has been completely diminished. But yeah, if I'm going to talk about, that's not the biggest frustration yesterday, but for United to just, I think that was the 13th set piece that we've conceded this season, which is more than any other team. More than any other team. We're talking about Ipswich, South bloody Hampton. We've conceded more from set pieces than Southampton. That is how bad our set piece defense. And if you're looking at set piece threat, well, in the last couple of games, well, it was 3 set pieces that we got against Ipswich. I think both against Everton were set pieces too. So we're creating more threat from them. That's a positive. But shit me, man. Is it the zonal marking? Because you can see where the issue is here, right? The ball is won there. See if I can do this. No, I can't. Oh, 1 second. I'll do it. Right. So you can see the ball's won there. Flick-on's won. Calvin Bassey's in this position here and is just running into that space there. You've got Mazraoui. Oh, dear. Yeah, I do want to do that. Thank you. Allow for 1 month. Tech. You've got Mazraoui, who's making the move there, but because he's standing still, Calvin Bassey's got the run on him. Gets a goal. Easy. I don't know what's going on when it comes to United defending from set pieces, but it's just, yeah, someone's mentioning Mazraoui and Ramadan. I don't really think that's got anything to do with it. This is just about positioning according to what the set piece coach is telling them to do. How do you stop that? That's a genuine question. I'm not here as a fucking set piece coach specialist. How is it that you stop these sorts of situations emerging? I mean, I know how you stop it. You stop that header, you stop the flick on. But when it gets to this situation here, how do you stop defenders attackers having the run on you? Because as soon as you get that, by the time that the flick is happening, if Bassey's moving and Mazraoui's standing still, you can't make up that difference. You're gonna lose that duel. Block the run. Someone says, well, Alex, if Mazraoui was to stand in front of Bassey there, that's a pen, right? Definitely going to get a pen for that. Back post by guy being aware of the runner, someone says down there. I suppose it's just anticipation, isn't it? That's what that is. It's anticipation. It's instead of watching the corner come in and then reacting to when the flick happens, you anticipate that flick will happen. If it doesn't, you've just made a bit of a wasted run. But if you've anticipated it properly, you will get there first. It's just, yeah, someone's saying tighter marking down there, a bit of man marking instead of zonal marking. Yeah, it's just, United are just too static at defending set pieces. I say that's the problem. The solution, though, I can't present the solution. I'm not a set piece specialist. I'll tell you one person who isn't the problem, though. And I read this in the Manchester Evening News this morning, so it might be right. It might be a lie, because, this is Manchester Evening News. But they are saying that Bruno Fernandes is 1 yellow card away from being suspended for the second leg against Real Sociedad. So if Bruno gets a yellow card out in the San Sebastian, or in San Sebastian, he'll be missing for the second game. Sorry. Just be aware of that. Casemiro will be as well. But I thought this was an interesting comment from Rooney and Amorim. All right, we've talked a lot about Bruno's positioning this season. Kind of gets stuck between wanting Bruno deeper to dictate and actually help United in the build-up, to wanting Bruno closer to the opposition's goal so Bruno can be the player that plays the ball into the final third. But Rooney and Amorim here just straight up saying we need Bruno Fernandes deeper because he's the best player at it. We need 11 Bruno Fernandes, who, let's be honest, right? So Bruno has been playing deeper a lot this season. Bruno will continue to play deeper a lot this season. And Bruno will probably play deeper all season long until the summer comes along. And then we sign somebody who can, it's like we're going to be playing up against one on Thursday, Zubimendi, who apparently is going to be on the way to Arsenal. But he is somebody who is a controller, a tempo creator. Somebody who isn't scared of the ball, somebody who wants the ball, and somebody who's just happy having the ball, passing it around in midfield. City have got Rodri. Arsenal likely to sign Zubimendi. We don't have one of those players. We never really have had one of those players. We wanted Frankie de Jong, who was going to be that player. And we signed Casemiro instead. And it's just like, they're like chalk and cheese as far as midfielders go. They are two totally different midfielders. But that was United's. See, let's not go back on the hypotheticals on what if. But by the sound of it, Bruno Fernandes will absolutely be playing deeper for pretty much the rest of the season. And that's not really too much of a surprise. And that is a profile that we desperately lack in this squad. And we have lacked for so long. When was the last time that we had a player like that in our squad? Would you go... No, I wouldn't even say Matic was that sort of player. Matic was more of an OG kind of destroyer number 6, rather than like a deep creator number 6. Schneider and Schweinsteiger? Nope. Pogba was better when he played further forward. Fred was better when he played further forward. McTominay was better when he played further forward. Ander Herrera? I mean, even Ander Herrera, man. Ander Herrera's a little bit of a hybrid, I suppose, but even Ander Herrera was, in my opinion, better playing further forward. Like, people going way back towards Carrick. It's been a long time since we've had somebody who's just confident, competent, and supremely technical and composed when having the ball in midfield in his own half. And that's why Bruno's playing deeper. Apparently I got a typo in one. I'll get a typo in that. Do you want to start? Do you want to start against Sociedad? Great. 71% of you said yes, you want to start. So great, we're going to have loads of players. But I meant Chido. We'll see if he does. 71% though are saying yes. Either way, it's just, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. This summer's going to be... Can I take a quick moment here, right, to talk about Zirkzee? Zirkzee, after the game yesterday, was absolutely devoed. Right? This is what you said. Sorry to let you down today, Reds. Thanks for the incredible support. And just a little video here. One sec. Don't want to get the sound in this. That's going to be a bit loud. This was a video here after the game of sort of Zirkzee being consoled by pretty much everyone. All the Fulham players, all the United players, and he was pretty like crestfallen. Of course, he missed the penalty that knocked United out, but the reason that we went out was not because of Zirkzee and that penalty at the end. I feel for him because he'll feel like he's responsible for it. I said in my match reaction, I'll say it again now, like I don't know how bad Garnacho's confidence must be for Lindelof to step up as the 4th penalty taker. And I know, like, I was at the game against Brighton in the FA Cup semi last year. If I remember correctly, Lindelof scored in the sudden death, I think, 7th or 8th penalty taker. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that it was sudden death, though. I thought Zirkzee played well again yesterday, but I'm not sure if you noticed it in the background. Like, for the last 20 minutes, he was doing some sort of sumo squat. Every time the ball was somewhere else, he was doing a sumo squat, just trying to stretch his groin out, stretch his hammies out, stretch his calves out as much as he possibly could, because he was running on empty. He was running on empty in the last 20 minutes of that game. I don't know how he plays against Sociedad. If he does, there's not a chance that he can last 90 minutes. Like yesterday, when you look at the subs bench, there was only 7 subs there, and there were 2 goalkeepers. Always confused me why you ever have 2 goalkeepers on a bench. I have no idea. Stephen is saying Ruben had influence on who took the pens. I don't know. I've not been in an elite professional environment and understand how penalties are taken, but I'm pretty sure it's like people put their names forward. Largely just to show that it's down to confidence. Penalties is a confidence game. Of course, it's an ability game, but it's just about confidence, mate. I'll tell you what, the first 6 penalties yesterday were absolutely top bins. All of them were ridiculously good penalties. Plenty of you rightly praising Zirkzee's graft yesterday. You can't question that. And that will always gain a player more support and more time from fans. And that chance at the end, I think Garnacho must have sort of missed his step. When Zirkzee sort of cut the ball back, it was like a little dummy to Chido, then back to Zirkzee, chopped it back inside, a little floated through ball. And then I was watching the replay, and Garnacho took it on his left, but it almost took it in a stride. I think it just kind of fell wrong in the path because he was running at a pretty fast speed as well. Garnacho, Stephen, you're down there saying Garnacho made a difference when he came off the bench. He did make a difference. But like Højlund, Garnacho's not scored in 19 games. 19. Yep, and you're right there as well to point out Zirkzee's technical qualities. It's it kind of pisses me off that Zirkzee was played as a number 9 early this season. He never was. If you just watched Zirkzee last season at Bologna, you looked at that's why I said it was a unique profile, because it is unique to see a player of his size have the technical qualities that he does to bring others into play. Zirkzee is an enabler, not a finisher. That's the profile of Joshua Zirkzee. And given that he was brought in potentially, likely, by the club, seen as an alternative to Højlund when it comes to goals, was not a true reflection of Zirkzee's profile. He is an enabler. He can create chances and bring others into play if you have enough movement around him. And it's a big problem. United don't have much movement up front at all. Somebody who I definitely think deserves some praise yesterday. As much as it was doom and gloom, there were some good individual performances yesterday that, of course, get kind of forgotten about. I thought De Ligt probably, certainly one of his best performances in a United shirt. I think it was more the fact that I saw De Ligt being really aggressive as the centre-back, really stepping up to support any sort of press in the middle. Also, he was then able and capable of running back and covering the space himself. De Ligt is being asked to do a role which I think he'd rather not. I think De Ligt would rather be the central centre-back. But when you're starting with Maguire as a central centre-back, then De Ligt is going to play as the wide centre-back. That's what Amorim's asking him to do. And I thought he did it really well yesterday. His diagonals as well in the first half to Dalot, it was like the outlet. It's always been... I've said this in quite a few match previews, haven't I? I said, why is it that United aren't doing these passes over the fullbacks into the spaces? Because that seems to be where there's no point just booting it long to Højlund because it's not going to stick. It is not going to stick. And now you're seeing De Ligt's doing it, Maguire's been doing it. Those balls, those diagonal balls into the opposition's space behind the fullbacks, that's where United can get some actual chance-creating opportunities. Now, we're not exactly creating chance of it because you're basically kicking it to Diogo Dalot and you may as well kick it to me. You know what I think about Dalot? Well, we all know it's not what you think about Dalot. I look at Dalot, and when it comes to the summer transfer window, I look at him as a massive opportunity for United to make some really good money. Just a curious question down here. How much do you think United would be able to sell Dalot for if he was to be sold this summer? Because he's what? I'm going to guess like 24. 24? 25. Oh, he's about to become 26. So he's 26 in 2 weeks. A little bit older than I thought he was. But how much do you think Dalot would be worth? Because I think you should get somewhere like 30 to 40 million for Dalot. Now, I think there's there's quite a lot of players that I would need to there's a lot of problems I need to resolve at this club before I talk about an alternative right wing back, because I'm looking at Kenda is coming in and he's going to be our first choice. 20 mil, someone says down there, 25 to 30. Ant, you want 50? Good luck. Stephen, 30. Delo, 40. Darren, 35 to 40. I think you can get 30 to 40. I think basically the point I'm trying to make here is I think you could conceivably buy Kenda, and we've seen prices around the 40 million mark being banded by David Ornstein. I think you could sign Kenda, sell Diogo Dalot, and promote Camerson to be the understudy to Kenda. And for near enough, I would say for about 10 million-ish, you would have moved from Dalot being United's first choice right wing back, and us not actually right now having an alternative, to United having Kenda, Camerson as an understudy, and we've spent about 10 mil. I mean, it makes sense on paper. It's always so simple to look at United's summer transfers and go, oh, just do this and do that. But rarely works out like that. I know it rarely works out like that. But yeah, I think Dalot, if United can move Dalot on this summer, I think United should move Dalot on this summer. For at least for somewhere in the 30 to 40 million range. That's what I think. Daniel's saying, change my mind about Garnacho. He can go because, truth be told, right? Truth be told, this is just a reality. Whether or not you want Garnacho to go is a different conversation. But for the fact that Garnacho now has had 2 disciplinary issues with Amorim, we will go into this summer and it will be the same as it was in January. If the right offer comes in for Garnacho, then Garnacho will be sold. I imagine we'll go and we'll talk to Napoli again and see what happens there. But there aren't many players at this squad who you wouldn't apply that situation to. So it's not a witch hunt against Garnacho. You could say the same thing for Højlund, the same thing for Eriksen, Casemiro, Dalot, Luke Shaw, Badassia. The list goes on. Mason Mount. You're gonna buy. No one's going to buy Mason Mount. Yeah, there's so much that can happen this summer. Somehow United have got to have our most active and successful summer at the exact same time. Sam, do you think you see a swap deal with Sporting for Dalot and Kenda? I don't think that's outside the realms of possibility. Of course, Dalot came from Porto. He is Portuguese. Probably wouldn't mind going back there. It just depends whether he feels that Sporting is the right level for him. Where is Sporting in the league now? I know they were top last time I checked. Portuguese league. They're out the Champions League now, aren't they? Yeah, they're still top. Look at that. Drawn the last 3 games and they're still top. That's the Portuguese league right now. Not that you care. I thought I'd just randomly show you. Okay. Right, let's have a little 2-minute chat here, peeps. In fact, let me go down. I'll read a couple of your comments out about this lad, and then we'll move on for a little couple-minute talk about Sociedad. Can we talk about the front right side of the pitch? Absolutely zero threat. Garnacho helps on the left, but without Ahmad, it's Barrett. Still can't believe that happened, man. In a season where we just had such little reason to be optimistic and hopeful, the one player who was a shining light, the one player who was like an example to all, the one player who was an attacking spark, and I still think is our top goal scorer in the league alongside Bruno, Ahmad. And without Ahmad, it is the frozen wasteland. That's what I would call it on the right-hand side. Ten Hag improved Dalot massively, says Richie, and under Amorim, he's regressed as have most players. Amorim hasn't improved one single player. Richie, you come in here like Aggie, you come in here angry. In every video, you're coming in angry on the comments. I think you just want reactions. But you're not going to get them from me. This season has been an absolute write-off. That is what happens when you bring in a manager who plays a totally different style of football into a squad mid-season because you fucked up and you made a mistake with a manager previously. Are you expecting miracles? No, I don't think any United fan was expecting miracles. I was expecting United to be better. Yes, I was. But there's no way that I'm going to be... You can do what you want. You can do what you want down there. But anybody wanted to try and drag it into a conversation about... And I can see some United... And I don't know whether they're United fans or not. You can't really tell online, can you? You cannot tell whether somebody genuinely is a United fan, is sitting there actually saying that Amorim should be sacked, or whether it's just somebody from another club who's using an anonymous account just to sort of try and get under the skin of United fans. It's really hard to tell the difference between what is a conversation or what is, I don't know, somebody just trying to get under your skin. You have no idea. What would you say? What would you say needs to change for? In fact, 1 second down here. I think I'm going to do this now. Yep. Yeah. You can come back in 24 hours. What do you think needs to change for Sociedad on Thursday? I mean, don't say the obvious, right? Well, United could do with scoring goals. Fantastic. I think the biggest question would probably be around who starts up front. And there's going to be people that feel that Haaland should. And there's going to be people that feel that Chido should be given the chance. It's not about that. If Chido starts, it's not because he should be given the chance. It's because Amorim feels that United will have more of an attacking threat with Chido in the team than Haaland. I don't think he will start this game. But I could easily see him come on at half-time. Dorgu is available. I forgot about that. That's a little positive. Yes, I'm aware I look like Gary Lineker, but this is kind of how I feel right now. Give Haaland 45 minutes, sub at half-time. We'll find out then. Dorgu on the end of them diagonals. Yeah, man. Just want to see some energy, says Rob. Do you think Amorim doesn't trust the youth, but only when he doesn't have a choice? No. Albano, there is a video that's going to be coming out. We're planning on it. We're working on it in the background. And I think it's a really, really big video, okay? Because context is... It's not just context. It's about understanding. This video is going to be about what Amorim did in his first summer at Sporting. And the players that he had, the players that he got rid of, and the players that he brought in. And exactly the different types of profiles. The experienced players that he brought in, the academy players that he brought through from the academy, and the bigger signings that they made, which aren't huge signings, but big as far as Sporting go. And how they worked, or if they didn't work. To give you all a bit of an understanding of what happened in Sporting's first summer ahead of United's first summer. But look, Wednesday will be the preview for the Sociedad game. Today is going to be the 5 things that we learned and takeaways from the Fulham game. Tomorrow, I'm undecided as to what the video is going to be. And then I'm going to have that special United People's Productions video on Amorim's first summer at Sporting out on Wednesday evening. And then, of course, Thursday, 5:45. Early kickoff on, by the way, on Thursday. Don't get caught out by it. Sometimes we all do. 5:45 on Thursday. We're playing against Sociedad. And, yeah, I'm already nervous. I'm already nervous for it. It is the biggest game that we've got left this season, followed by the other biggest game we've got left this season with the second leg at Old Trafford a week later. If we can get through that, then I think we face, was it Lyon? Is it Lyon or Frankfurt? I can't remember. Don't really care. Let's not speak about the next game. Let's just focus on Sociedad. All in all, it was an exact continuation of what we didn't want to continue. The slow, lack of tempo, football at 2 miles an hour, even if you get the results, will never be what United fans want to see. When you talk about the DNA of Manchester United's football, it's the ability to play football faster than the opposition team, which might be a strange thing to say. And I'm not just talking about sprints and transitions and 40-yard. It's about the zip of the pass. I always think that when I look at a confident team, how quickly they can kick a pass to their teammate who can just stop it dead and find their teammate. How quickly it can zip between players. That for me is like one of the biggest measures of confidence. And it's as the speed of play. It's not just about knocking a 30-yard ball down the pitch or bursting out on a counter attack from a corner kick. It's about how quickly you can play it to each other, which is why it's killing me so much, seeing how slowly we're playing out from the back. And how we could do with a man like this right now. We need a spark. Right now, he's the only spark we've got. I'll be here tomorrow morning. Thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, sometimes I'm nibbled on the trolls. Sometimes Amorim does as well. I think that's kind of what he did there with the Rooney comments. He nibbled. But if it's not Keane last week, it's Rooney this week. It'll probably be Scholes on Thursday. And then it'll be Rio on Monday. Certainly the former players are not helping Amorim. And I think sometimes they're just kind of speaking about what they see in front of themselves. But we'll find out. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a bad season. It's my birthday in 10 days. I don't think I'm going to be enjoying my birthday when it comes to United. Take it easy, everyone.